wrong betting against him there. Player, and this is tough. I mean, most improved sometimes can always go to like a second-year player to a third-year player. It can go to a player who's already at a high level and now taking his game to an MVP level. So it's really hard to predict. The favorite across the board right now is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's probably going to be in a horrible team with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Gerard, who do you like for most improved player?
That is a tough one. Brian mentioned the Toronto Raptors, and I love them. It's just, OG Anunoby at plus 4,000 is so interesting to me, because if Toronto's going to maintain itself as, an upper echelon East team, let's say they even slip to like 4. Yeah, we know Pascal's got to be good, but OG's got to be a little bit better than he has been, right? And I think there's room in his game to expand. We know he can shoot the corner 3. We know he can defend. If he can add a little bit off the bounce, I think that's huge. So I'm going to go with OG at plus 4,000. I really like that there. Look, I mean, Michael Porter Jr. could win it because he might score a lot. Christian Wood is interesting at plus 800, but the Rockets might be a dumpster fire. So, I don't know there. But I like OG at plus 4,000.
That's an OG Anunoby. That's a good one. Murph, what do you say?
Like you said, this is such an unpredictable award. So I'm going to throw some wild ones at you. Lonzo Ball, plus 3,000 around there. If he improves on his play and they win, I think the key is if New Orleans starts winning and is a clear playoff team and he's playing better because of all the flack he's gotten, I think he might be in line to win that award. Also, like Marvin Bagley, a person who really, it's about completely, to me, about staying healthy. So if he were to stay healthy for most of the season and put up good numbers, that would dwarf what he did the previous season. So that I could see that. And then you got to throw Zion's name in here somewhere because everybody loves Zion, including me. And to me, an improvement for Zion is just games played. So if he plays most of the season, I mean, that's the most significant improvement that the entire league has had, okay? And we know the numbers will come along with that. So I think Zion's a real threat at plus 2,000. Any one of those three, it's a wide open category.
All right, Brian, who the Heat player? Because they just get moved, right?
So Christian Wood is the safe bet here. I think because he is on a Houston team where I don't quite know what is going to happen with James Harden, but we know that Christian Wood is going to play a lot and get the minutes and get the necessary looks. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is another safe pick here. Deandre Ayton, who I talked about earlier, is probably the one that I would bet on the most here, even though I am against giving the most improved player to a top 5 pick. That just doesn't make sense to me. You were a top 5 pick. You're supposed to be very good at some point. But whatever. I think DeAndre is probably the guy that I would go with here. I also have 2 sleepers who aren't anywhere near list or whatever the case may be, although I did see one of them as we went down in that plus 5,000 range. Taylor Horton Tucker from the Los Angeles Lakers, who I like a lot, who didn't do anything last year, was a second-round pick and has came on in season and has done really well. I think he's going to eat up some of Kyle Kuzma's. I think he's going to play himself into that Lakers rotation. I think he's going to play meaningful basketball, and he's as good as, not all, but some Laker fans have sort of expected. I think very similarly about KZ Okpala down in Miami, who also didn't play much last year at all and can really come in, be in the rotation, play significant minutes, and really take a leap that very few of these guys could do because a lot of them played consistently last year. So my favorite would be DeAndre, but my dark horses, my sleepers, Taylor Horton Tucker in the Lakers and KZ Okpala down in Miami.
Some good sleepers there. I too like DeAndre Ayton at plus 1,600 because I'm with you, Brian. I think that he is the player on that team that Chris Paul is going to impact the most in terms of improvement. So, although I also agree with you on the top 5 pick and the most improved player, I kind of agree with you on that as well too. But I think DeAndre Ayton's a really good bet there as well. And Gerard also mentioned my other sleeper, which I thought was OG Anunoby, which I think is a really good value fit because I liked how he was playing last year. You could see the confidence coming on. And I think in the role that he's going to be needed now to help Pascal take a little bit of the burden off him in scoring, I think he's really going to step up, and you're going to see that. So I like those two guys. All right, the last award